Forehead on show. Weird hairline on show. Au naturel. Yeah. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about my natural hair journey and how I used to chemically straighten my hair a lot. And I'm talking about, like, on the box it would say every 3 months to do it for regrowth, but I used to do the whole thing every 3 months, even the damaged or the already chemically straightened parts. It started when I was 16, I think, but I hated my hair, I think, long before. And I think basically because I grew up in a very white neighborhood. I went to white schools where me and my brothers were the only black kids, and I was never like worried about my skin. I never thought, you know, oh, I want to be white. For me it was the hair. Like, I wanted soft, straight hair. And I remember when I was in grade 5, we used to sit around the teacher. We used to sit around the floor in front of the teacher and she would read us books. So I would sit behind my friend and I would just play with her hair. And the whole time I'm thinking, God, I wish I had this hair because it's so soft. She doesn't need to have it braided every night like I had to. And it was just, I just saw it as so much better than my hair. As I got older and I, you know, went to high school, it still hasn't changed. I was never worried about my skin tone, but I was still annoyed that my hair wasn't soft. And so one day, I think it was for like a special occasion when I was 16, my mum straightened my hair. She used a relaxer to straighten my hair. And after that, I was like, oh my God, I need this all the time. And so I used to pressure her to get me more. And when it was her buying it, it was few and far in between, because she was like, you know, it's gonna hurt your hair, don't do it. And so she would have to buy it for me, and she would say that, you know, it's not good for me, so she wouldn't buy it for me. And so I'd have to just make do with my hair, and I was never really happy with it. And then when I started coming into my own money, like when I started my first job, I think I was in no, it was way before my first job. I used to get allowance and I used to buy it with that. And when I was, I think, 16, I was in year 11, and I got my first job, and then the money that I would get from it, I would buy the relaxer. And so I only used to work 2 hours cleaning, and I would save that money. And because it was like once every 3 months, I would put money away for it and then spend what I wanted to spend, but there would always be money for the relaxer. And so I would get my dad to go buy it for me because it's easier to convince him than it was mum. And so he would buy it for me because he usually was in the area where they sold it. So he would buy it for me and I would use it, and mum, I remember mum would constantly tell me, you know, stop that on your hair, it's not going to be good for you, you're going to lose your hair. And I was like, no I'm not, I'll stop when if I start losing my hair. But I was basically addicted, and I decided that now that, you know, when I started uni, I can go places on my own on a train, and so I used to buy it myself. And I never realized that my hair was thinning until I didn't use it for a while. I think maybe a month or 2 after the refill date is supposed to be. And I didn't use it for about 2 months after that, and my hair was just brittle, it kept breaking, and it was thin, and just a lot of different things. There was just so much wrong with my hair. But I was like, oh, you know, I'll just put oil, I'll nourish it, I'll do whatever. And that was fine to a point, but there was still a lot of damage on it. And I got my hair, I stopped in I think September of 2015, and in November, from November to January, we went to Africa. And while I was there, I just went and cut it all off. Like there was enough regrowth for me to have like a short fro, but there was a lot of damage. Like you could see the difference between my regrowth and the damaged hair, and it was just crazy different. Like this just felt the regrowth, not the regrowth, the damaged part just felt disgusting, basically. It felt like straw, like hay. So I had a little fro, and I think since then, since the end of 2015, when I had it cut, and now, it's still, I've never used it, and I mean, it's a huge difference because now my hair, there's more of it obviously, and if I can find some pictures, like I'll show you like how, like the difference, like of what my hair looked like when I had it. And now it's just like, it's fuller, I like my curls, I, you know, do whatever I want with them, and I just like to wear it like this. And when I feel like a change, I mean nowadays there's lace fronts, like, you know, I have one, and when I feel like a change, I will do whatever I want with that one. I'll curl it, straighten it, whatever. As long as there's no damage done to my hair, I don't care. The one thing that, you know, that didn't completely destroy my hair, I think, was the fact that I never colored it. And so I never had to bleach it or anything. But the chemical straightening damaged my hair, all because I've been fighting a hate for my hair for so long. Just seeing other people with their soft straight hair, and that's what I wanted, but that would never, like even when I used to straighten my hair before the chemical straightening, like I would just normal flat iron it, it was never the same, so I didn't like that it was never the same. And now I'm like, whatever, I don't even need to straighten it, I don't need to do whatever, I just put, like I brush it, put some olive oil on it, and just, you know, walk out the door. And usually I just let it air dry, so either I pin it back while it's wet, how I want it, and then I let it air dry and it just air dries into this. And so I like that it's different, especially from where I live, but I just like that it's my hair, and I've come a long way to loving my hair. I'm just very glad that I never had the issue with my skin, like that I didn't like my skin. Otherwise, if I started using, I don't know what they're called, the skin bleachers or whatever to lighten your skin, if I started using that, I mean, it would have been like irreversible damage. But with my hair, I mean, you can cut it and grow it again. And I think I'm really glad that it was just that. And yeah, I mean, I didn't even cut a fringe because I've learnt to accept my forehead that goes with my hair. I mean, if I tie it back like this, see, I literally look bald. Literally. And so a lot of the times in pictures, I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to tie back my hair for pictures, because then it's like, well, she's bald. And not just a bald, like a clean bald, like clean shaven. Yeah, so I just kind of wanted to share that a little like insecurity that I had from when I was a kid, just how I didn't like my hair. And yeah, If you connected with this video, please like, share and subscribe. And if you want to share your own story, which I would absolutely love to hear, comment down below. It can be one of those short comments or even like write me a whole thing. It doesn't matter.